Alright, thank you so much for coming to this Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi, and this is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko, Japanese Sashiko, and practice, not a practice, stitch in front of the camera without any editing or any modification so that you can learn as well. This is not a tutorial, this is not gonna be the webinar, so I'm not gonna talk about any tutorials or technical stuff. For those who like to learn Sashiko specifically, please check the please check my YouTube videos. There's a playlist where you can learn those tutorials as well. All right. So I'm happy to answer any questions regarding to the Sashiko culture, Japanese culture, those history and stuff like that. Is it? Just let me check the audio first. Audio. As always, it would be great if you could bring some of your stuff to stitch or play with so that you don't have to keep watching me doing it. Tell me if it's too loud. Please let me know if it's too loud. I am probably, yeah, it's quite loud. My audio says it's all red, but I think that's what is good for this live streaming. So I'll keep this as is, and let's start stitching. I'll stitch the camera. Okay. Wait, is this Happy New Year? Happy New Year. The first time in 2023, Happy New Year. I completely forgot about it. Happy New Year. Yes. In Japan, it's really a big deal to have the New Year, but in the US, I think many people started working on 3rd or even 2nd, right? So it's kind of weird for me to. Well, it's not weird actually. I don't feel like it's the New Year for me. But again, this is the New Year, the first time, the first live streaming for the 2023. So I hope that I can keep doing this year as well. Nothing is different. Nothing is different. My message is the same. What I do is also the same. So it might be boring for that matter because I will be speaking the same thing. But the point is that I don't know what I would like to share, which means that since everything is super normal, common sense, ordinary to me, I don't know what the other people are looking for, like interested in. So this live streaming is a good place for me to understand what is the kind of interest among those who practice Sashiko right now. Instead of like a structured message. I do have a structured message, but more like this live streaming is more like understanding what is wanted, how I can contribute to this. Like not a few years ago, 6 years ago when I started sharing this running stitch on YouTube, I thought that many people, like not many people, almost everybody could do those running stitch, because this is something I did very in normal condition. It was very normal for me to be able to do that. And I kind of imagined that everybody could do it, as if we all can do cooking or cleaning. Of course, there's like a level of not being good at, or not, good or bad or well, but those are kind of necessary skill to make a living. And I thought that Sashiko was part of, not Sashiko itself, but more like stitching. And this stitching can be helpful too as well. So now I learned that this is not something we always do that or anymore. It's not something common any longer. It was probably common, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, but not anymore. So that was my first step to realize what I can do to this. So it's not like me not sharing things. It's me not understanding what I can do. Happy New Year from Hong Kong. Happy New Year to you too. In 2022, I was doing this pattern. In 2023, I am doing exactly the same pattern. I really hope that I can finish this in 2023. I don't know if I can finish it though, but it's my goal to finish it this year. Wow. I sometimes receive kind of like an inquiry from the text manufacturer, designer, well, many kind of people. They they don't know what Sashiko is, and they don't really care what Sashiko is. So they ask how many meters that I can make, production line, like production lead time, minimum orders, and there are a lot of like mass-produced fabric inquiries. Even just this big, this width, just this much width of fabric, it's taking a few years to complete 100-meter. So those are not a good inquiry because it is almost impossible to do so for somebody who needs those fabric in that quantity. And wow, Sashiko has become something different already. So let's see. I gotta do some. This is gonna be another year of trying to keep speaking up for that. I hope you have some I hope you have some plans for your stitching in 2023. There's not a requirement, or I don't even say that it's good to have, but it's nice. Well, actually, it's good to have a plan to do it for the year. And the Japanese loves to make a resolution, which is not gonna be, of course, come true, but for stitching as well, it might be a good idea to have something planning for this year of 2023. My goal is to finish this. My resolution is to finish this stupid idea that I came up in 2022 last year. Shoot. I don't know how I came up with this idea. Well, I know how I came up with this idea, but so just a second, I have to fix this. It's not a mistake, but sometimes I would like to. Well, no, I don't want to make something eventful on the YouTube, that's some misleading wishes to make myself more busy and then end up with not doing anything. So my goal for this year on the YouTube is just continue. No matter what happens, I would like to keep this Thursday night live streaming. I say almost every Thursday live streaming, and I would like to keep that. So consistency is probably very important for this. And every Thursday night, I stitch in front of the camera. And I think that's gonna make a good rhythm. And that's probably what Sashiko used to be too. They had those plans, not a plan, though, those schedules. And it existed in the repetitive ordinary days, so it's good to have those cycles as well. Kind of not estimating, getting prepared to see sort of the end of the trend of Sashiko this year. It's gonna happen sooner or later, the end of the trend. If it comes early, it's gonna be this year. If it does not come this year, probably 2000. Well, I believe it's my kind of premonition. Like it's like I'm trying to imagine the future. But I think the boom trend of Sashiko will end at some point between today until 2030. 10 years from now, probably this will be a little bit taken over by other trend. So I have to prepare for that as well. I mean, it's not gonna change anything. I'll keep stitching anyway, but. And I kind of probably prefer the end of the trend because those who join the Sashiko after the trends are more like focusing on what Sashiko is instead of looking at what they want to look at. My plan is to finish the multi-patterns fabric I got from you and try to make a garment from it. Yep, that's a good idea. That's a good project. Don't stress out too much, but also it's good to have those goals. Oh, sorry. I don't know. What do you feel that there is a trend of Sashiko in your place? Or do you feel any of those? Like, is it getting more popular or not? What can I say? Is it? Well, I would say that this became a big trend in COVID for sure. The crafting itself became kind of big thing in the last 2 years, and last year was, yes, actually it was a very big trend in Sashiko, and every trend ends at some point, so I was wondering when would be the one time for that. And it does not really matter to me much if it's trend or not, because what I do will be exactly the same, but it's really interesting to see how people will change the trend or flow. It is so unfortunate that I cannot follow this trend though. If it was happening 15 years ago, I probably would be swimming in this trend. I was very focusing on the business. I was very much focusing on the business, so I would love this wave to be on. Like 2009, 2010. even before that, 2008, I would have enjoyed it a lot. At the same time, as by enjoying it, I probably cannot speak up the exact message I am doing right now because I was not stitching as much as I used to, as much as I should have, or as much as I am doing right now. And it's a very risky, it's a very dangerous word for me to say it out loud. But I only value the words or stories about Sashiko from those who stitch. I used to say that you don't need stitching technique or skill or mindset or practice, or you don't have to really stitch if you consider Sashiko as the, business or culture. I mean, business actually, more like business. What you have to know is the, those numbers, financing or accounting or even managing, human resource, law, whatever it is, to make business ongoing. After so many mistakes, my conclusion is that if we are going to do this Sashiko even for the business, what I have to have is the constant, almost like continuous, not a constant, continuous practice of Sashiko, regardless of when and how. And so my point is that if I stop stitching, like if I start talking to the camera without stitching, that's a little bad sign that I might be becoming different. Whole point of me speaking up like this is that I am stitching, and I value those stories from those. I mean, as long as it's really limited to what Sashiko is, like everything else is not my area, so there's not that much stuff to do, but I cannot comment on those things. But when it comes to Sashiko, very specific Sashiko, I probably wouldn't really listen, or I don't want to say I don't value those voices, but the stories from one who does not stitch is kind of skeptical. I mean, it's really easy to enjoy Sashiko, so if they want to talk or if they want to discuss about Sashiko, I want them to I want them to stitch too. And I don't think it's too much to ask. Sashiko is not a trend for me, and in Hong Kong they love many things Japanese, not just Sashiko. In the UK they may be more of the trend. Interesting. Indigo dye is probably a big trend in Hong Kong as well, or Taiwan, Hong Kong, Taiwan. I mean, in Japan as well, so it's another big trend, but I don't know how Sashiko will be interpreted. But yeah, it has become the trend already somewhere, in probably your place, many other places. But yeah, those. And the reason I say it's a risky comment is that, the more I get busy, the less I have stitching time. That's very unfortunate, but that's something I have to do. Like if I get paid, if I receive the money from you, of course I cannot put the Sashiko as my priority to do. So I have to balance it. And at some point though, at the same time, it is important for me to make my living and also making my ends meet. So it's really a balance. And sometimes I lose that balance by not stitching. And when I don't stitch, I probably shouldn't speak up as loud. But I sometimes have to. So those are the balance. Those are the balance I have to worry about, I have to think about. Before 2011, 2012, I was thinking that one does not need to do Sashiko to talk about it or to introduce what Sashiko is. as a professional, so like getting paid. Like if you're just telling to your friend, don't worry about it. But as a professional, when you do that, I thought that the Sashiko itself does not mean much. There would be something more important, but now not anymore. And this is actually my resolution. I am going to be stitching regardless. In order to complete this, I have to be stitching regardless. So nothing is different. Nothing is different. The same. It's exactly the same thing. I'm speaking the exactly same thing, but just I will keep stitching, and I hope you can keep enjoying that as well. By the way, I received a question on my Instagram saying that why is my thread splitting? And I was going to help, but I asked like what kind of thread do they use? Like, do you use our thread? And the answer was not our thread. So no, please use the thread that we recommend. Then I can probably help. Actually, I am helping already. If you find like there's a link from the follow-up page to learn how to take care of the thread in a good, appropriate way. So using the good thread and then treating it in an appropriate way, it does not happen that often. It can, of course, happen to threads, so it can happen as well, but it was a little weird. Like, well, if you don't use what I recommend, I cannot really give that answer. So the world will change. The world is gonna be changing every day, and I hope I can just be here to keep stitch. I will be here keep stitching. No, yeah. Natural dyeing, including indigo, is popular at the moment. I learned it at art college many years ago, and so enjoying seeing its resurgence. Yeah, it's kind of come and goes, and Sashiko is come and goes as well. So I will not be different. It is important to be very consistent, and it is my. You can take this as my word. I'll be doing probably exactly the same thing 10 years from now, 30 years from now. That's kind of my promise. No matter how environment becomes different. Well, only exceptions I can foresee is some financial unfortunate because of my family issues or my self-health issues. Like if I have to make money for my family or for myself for the health issues, or if my family member decided to quit the job, then that's just simply me putting the surviving priority. So that's probably the only one case. Besides that, I don't see the reason not to be stitching. I mean, there's a reason I can do like this. It's almost. I don't say impossible. It's almost impossible to provide a family by just doing this, as you can probably tell. And the more I get work, the more I work to make it sustainable by focusing on the financial circulation, the less I have for the stitching. And my core principle comes from stitching, so it's really a matter of balance. And probably some say that I have to hire somebody, but hiring somebody is also not sustainable at this moment. So again, I have to slow it down. My goal is to slow everything down. As what I do is the slow version of stitching. Although it's not slow, I don't focus on slowing, but I try to slow down everything else besides stitching so that it will be the speed of stitching as well. And I think that's the work-life balance. That's what we call it. You don't have to really be that fast. I mean, of course, if the goal is to be successful in the business or those other industries, speed is extremely important in the society to be successful. But besides those industries, for the daily life, the speed itself is not gonna bring us happiness. It's not gonna take us to the happy place. So, you may be hearing this several times last year, but happiness is not something to achieve. I was trying to achieve the happiness the last 30 years. I was trying to grab it. I was trying to find it and grab it. Even if I become incredibly competitive, I was going to win over the happiness, but it's not. It's really not to do that. The happiness is not gonna happen even if you grab it, or if you are trying to achieve it or take it or win over. It's just something we realize. And it might be in the speed. If somebody likes the speedy days, then it might be in the speed. For me, it is in the slowness. I mean, it's probably fast in comparison to 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago? Yeah, 10 years ago, my speed was probably not as fast as today's me because of the technologies, internet and everything. But, well, actually, this can be a good resolution for 2023. I will slow down as much as I can. Which is gonna be just a resolution, so I'm not gonna be able to slow down as much as I want. It's unrealistic resolution, but it's a resolution for that matter. I can always hope. So the feasible resolution, realistic resolution is to complete this project. I think I can. I think I gotta be able to do that. And unrealistic resolution is to be slow. The year of slowness. Year of slowness. Wait. What is the animal for this year? 2023. I should really know that. If I am in Japan, if I were in Japan, I will never forget this one. But okay, so this year, 2023, is the rabbit. Okay. Okay. I was just checking the. Where did I go? There we go. Am I back? It's a rabbit, huh? So. I was gonna say something, but rabbit. So it's not really the year to slow down. From that perspective, it's the jumping. So I might jump. I don't want to jump though. Jumping is not my intention. Wow, it is a rabbit already. Gosh, time flies. There we sometimes, well, not sometimes, some people believe that the personality comes from the ear animals we are born with. It's I think it's BS. I think. I don't think that our personality can be determined the year we born. But it's kind of fun to look at those things too. I think it's BS, but who knows? Maybe so. Maybe related, maybe not related. Do I know anybody who is born in the rabbit year? No, I might not know. 4 years younger than me. 4 years younger than me. No. So it does not really relate to the 2023 resolution. My husband and son are rabbits and I'm dragon. Wow. Now I know somebody who is rabbit. ね、牛、虎、立つ. So next year is your year. 2024. That's my brother's year. Like even that has a story behind it, you know? That why there are 12 animals each year assigned. Assigned. It might not be a good word for that, but they are assigned to do that. And there are stories behind it. So it's kind of interesting to see those stories as well. And those stories varies from region to region. So, and Sashiko has those stories too. My daughters are a golden pig and sheep. Oh, you have quite many animals in your family. Actually, my family's like that too, I guess. We used to stitch that each characters on the, like every year, the beginning of the year, we stitch that. There's a Japanese character kanji for that specific animals, and we feature those animals and also that kanji. We stitch. Like I stitched a lot of geometric patterns, but that doesn't mean that I only stitch those geometric patterns. When I have a project, I prefer the geometric patterns, but when I have a needs or I have things to do, I do stitch those. Like the characters. And the characters for each year's animals were something that everybody did in our family. So this year it's gonna be 牛とら立つね。そうですね。What sign are you? I'm the last one. So I think it's boar in English, or that's golden pig. I'm the last one. The mouse is the first one, and I'm the last one. And I think it's a boar. Probably there's another way to say it. I don't know. This might be the first time I'm talking about the 12 animals for the year in English. So yeah, it might be the first time. So I really don't know how to translate those. Good. Yeah, those people who were born in the year of golden pig or boar, they seems to not to stop, or they are the kind of destroyer. Like they destroy those like old habits. They are the demolisher. Again, that's very don't take it serious. It's really just kind of stories to play with. But some people say that the last one is when they decided to go straight, they will never change the direction. They just go straight. And I don't know because of that or not, but also it's called like demolisher or destroyer. So, as much as you may think that I am trying to protect this culture tradition, I am doing opposite. I am the destroyer. Like many Sashiko artisans in my life told me that I am doing the opposite. Like not opposite, I'm doing something wrong. For some reason, I don't know why, but I'm standing on the side of being traditional, but I am not. And I don't think I am yet. I look like it seems like I am on the protected side. But that's just how much the culture has changed. As the result, I look like that I'm on the protective side, but from the Japanese perspective, I am probably the not following the traditions or not even trying to protect it. What do you call it? Maverick or something? I think that's the word for that. So I cannot just ignore those messages of the animal ear. And it's probably not that far from the reality. For some people, not for everybody. Fortune telling is quite big in Japan as well. And we have several, like we of course have the Western fortune telling as well, like tarot card. But we also have the, I don't know how to translate that, more like Chinese based, Tao based. I cannot translate those things. But it is quite big industries. Many people say whatever they want for that. So for that, it's like something. It's also another story to enjoy our life. It does not have to be true. We need something to believe on. Huh? We as a human, we really need to believe in something to be healthy. And sometimes it can be religion, sometimes people, person, or concept. But also stories are good to have to believe in. And I know so many people who reflect their life in Sashiko, and as the result, I don't want it to be completely repainted. Change is good. Again, change is perfectly fine. I am trying to change it as well. Just that change, I want that change to be mindful. Like, I am changing, therefore I'm changing is good, but I am changing because I don't care is not okay. I am changing because I like to change is okay. But unfortunately today, probably changing happens because I don't care about the details. That's sad. And again, that's okay. That's okay for those who just enjoy it. Because after all, the culture is created by those who join, who is part of that, culture. But if they are in the position of sharing the stories, then that's a sad story, which I probably have to fight back this year as well. Oh, finally, my daughter decided to learn Japanese, so it is coming. It's good. Not stitching yet, but for some reason she is very much interested in learning Japanese language, and she used to be able to speak it with me until like 3 years old. All the communication between us until she started going to the daycare was in Japanese. So she's catching up quite fast. And whenever she wants to study, that's the time for her to learn. And this might make some people upset, but language is just language. Language. Like it's not a rocket science or even mathematics. Anybody can do. Of course, there's a like level of speed. Again, speed of the learning. Some people probably can learn one language within a few months, and they can probably speak like multiple languages. Some people might not be able to do that, but after all, it's just the language, so it's the matter of time. I am learning Japanese too, but not many people. That's it. So yes, the language require practice. That's why people say that it's much easier to jump into the culture, and it's the same in Japanese too. If we want to get it, especially after we become adult, because we think we think about things in the mother language or the language we feel the most comfortable. It is quite essential to go into that culture. So memorizing as much as we can in the alone time, and then bring it to the countries when we can go. That's probably the best way to learn. Well, actually, probably, I don't want to say only way, but that's quite fast. I don't want to say fast, but efficient way to do that. Not many people believe me, but I was not speaking English at all until the age of 18. I probably could read, not probably, I could read, I could write, but I could not really speak at all. Back then, the TOEFL, I don't know if you know that, those like English test, did not require speaking that much. I've heard that there's pretty big jump from that moment, and now it's a big requirement, but it took forever for me to get used to the accent as well, the accent. So you hope to be yeah, I know. It's really unfortunate that nobody has canceled the trip yet, so it is happening and everybody's there. And I cannot increase the number because I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can increase the number. I'm sorry for that. Well, I mean, waiting list is pretty long, but let's see. Ah, shoot. Sakura. Okay. Sorry, my cat was. Sakura was sneezing like crazy. Oh yeah, if you, I mean, that's one way. Yeah, if you come, of course you can come to Japan as your own trip. That's really perfectly fine idea. I hope, not a hope. I think that there are not gonna be any restrictions. I have not been back to Japan for almost 10 years. It's about time. It's really about time to go back. I was about to go back in 2020, which you know that we had to cancel everything. So this time I hope I can do that. Sakura, are you okay? Oh, my cats are kind of. Are you okay? I may have to stop live streaming a little earlier today. Your eyes are a little. Is it allergy or something? What happened to you? Your eyes are a little watery. It sometimes happens. Are you just sleepy or what? No, you're not. Sorry, I'm gonna actually stop now to see her if she's okay or not. She should be okay, but I don't like stopping in the middle, but I think I'm gonna take care of Sakura a little bit. She might be. I hope she's not gonna puke or something. I'm sorry about this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this Sashiko live streaming. I'm sorry I'm stopping like 10 minutes earlier than usual. I'll come back next Thursday. Yes, next Thursday I can come back as well. So I hope you have a good night and I'll see you next week. Thank you.